concept I'm going to speak about today is spirituality breeds passivity. And the reason why I want to speak about this today is because the New Age movement, or a lot of what I see in the spiritual place, is simply passive individuals who are not willing to actually take action on what they truly want on a deeper level, and mistake passivity for surrender. We've all heard the concepts of surrender, so we've all heard of this concept, but what does it actually mean? It's one of the toughest things to grasp, because to surrender, you could just say, well, I'm just going to literally just lie here, do nothing, and everything's just going to start changing. My reality is just going to start meeting me where I'm at, and what is for me won't pass me by. What is for me won't pass me by. Have you heard this one before? It will do if you sat on the seat, eating fucking donuts all day, not really doing anything. I can assure you now it'll pass you by. The New Age spirituality believes that we don't have free will. Now, I don't like to, I mean, even if that is true on a deeper core level, because we all are, when you break it down, we're all just particles, waves, atoms, and yeah, in terms of the energy and the frequency and everything that's operating in the background in the unseen world, yes, we do not have control over any of them things. But for me to, I've genuinely tried this, so for me to sit there and say, right, okay, I don't actually have any control over this, so I'm just going to sit here, do nothing, and believe that my world's going to change. Well, unfortunately, that isn't the case. If you are trying to surrender, you really need to check in with yourself and get to understand whether you are just being passive and whether you are just using that as an excuse not to act on what you want. Because when we think about our desired reality, or we think about achieving some form of success in this world, a lot of the time we link it to struggle, we link it to sacrifice, we link it to pain. But what if I was to tell you it doesn't need to be like that? You don't need to feel struggle. You don't need to feel pain. You don't need to have sacrifice. Of course, you're going to have to take action. Of course, you're going to have days where you may not want to do something. You're going to have to apply some will. You're going to have to apply a little bit of intent. Of course. But we see the world like it is difficult to achieve what we want. We decide, the New Age spiritual movement decide, well, I'm happy as I am. I've got everything I want and need, which is true on a soul level. Yeah, we all are made imperfect, as God has made us in perfect image. I get that. But there is nothing wrong with having desires. There is nothing wrong with wanting to improve your life, wanting to get better and do better and make an impact in this world. I believe it is a little bit self-absorbed as well, saying like, I'm just going to be passive now, not really do anything. Because you're just absorbing in your own, you're not willing to put yourself out there. You're here to make an impact on and help other people. If you manage to reach some state of, or some form of enlightenment, a state of enlightenment, if you've been able to get yourself out of this fight or flight and you've been able to reach higher states of consciousness, then now, I believe, it is your job to start making an impact in the world. So get into this now and realizing, yeah, you do genuinely feel some form of neutrality, some form of inner peace, and you don't actually desire the things that you used to. You don't want and need the things as much as you may want, as you may used to. But that doesn't mean you just sit there and be passive and be lazy and tell the world that you're not going to actually cooperate now, because you see past the illusion. You understand the totality of it all. You understand the universe in its entirety, so you can get the mindset and develop the mindset. A lot of the New Age spiritual movement develop the mindset as well. What is it all for? Let's just surrender and chill and be in peace and love, man, and just wear my beads and just float about and meditate and just do all this stuff all the time. But that isn't spiritual. That's a mask. That's a costume that these people are wearing. So please don't fall for this trap. Spirituality doesn't have a mask or a costume. Spirituality is simply just energy. It's being aware of your formless self. But after that, there is no rules and regulations. You do with this as you please. But if you haven't reached a state of alignment and that means your cup's full. It's overflowing. So if it's overflowing, go do something with it. Go create something that is going to be of benefit to this world, is going to make lasting impact. Go and help and serve your community. It doesn't need to be this grandiose title. I think we trip ourselves a lot about it. We want to be like this big thing. We want to create this big thing. We want to be this entrepreneurial, multi-million pound successful idea that we want to come up with because we're spiritual and we meditate. Now we're waiting on this, like, sat there like this, waiting on this perfect one idea. I'm just going to wait because my blessings are going to come because I'm just going to sit here and meditate all the time. And yeah, the perfect idea is going to land me. I just need to wait and surrender and do nothing. Unfortunately, that's not how it is. I mean, if you can humble yourself and bring yourself back down to a human level, have a look. Have a look around you. What is the smallest thing that you can do to move yourself forward and make some form of impact? Because if you want to see changes in your own life, you need to be giving something in order to receive. So if you do generally, if you understand, if you're listening to this now and you're like, do you know what, yeah, I get what you're saying, I see past this bullshit, I do actually want better for myself, I do actually desire these things, I just trick myself into believing that these things are bad. I shouldn't want manifest. I shouldn't want money. I shouldn't want success. I shouldn't want a beautiful life. I shouldn't want a nice house. I shouldn't want a thriving community because I'm peace and love and enlightened now. I don't want or need anything. Well, this is bullshit. And if you know on a deeper level that you know this is bullshit and you don't actually feel like that, you're just lying to yourself and living in a state of passivity and mistaking that for surrender. If you see this or you acknowledge this within yourself, then pull yourself up on it. See that this is a lie. And you are allowed all these things. You're allowed to have anything you want in this world, good or bad. And I always prescribe, obviously, doing things that are going to be beneficial to the world. And if you feel like, if you're a person who is more reaching on the higher states of vibration, then you're not really going to want to do bad in this world. But the power is there. Do you understand what I'm saying? The power is there you can manifest and create anything you want in this world. So if you do have that power, start utilizing that. Start using that. And going back to what I was saying about giving and receiving, the more you provide value and put value into the world, the more you're going to receive back. If you want more money and you want success and you want to attract the life you want, then go and look at it like this. Don't look at it as getting money. Look at it as providing value. Where can I show up today to provide the most value I possibly can? Even if it's something small like going and picking the litter up in the nature reserve, going and helping a lady do her shopping. Maybe getting a part-time job, doing something, helping people out, even serving people in a cafe. Humble yourself. Bring yourself back down to human level. Stop working at, like, social media tricks us into believing that we need to be all this successful entrepreneurs and millionaires and have it all figured out and have this successful fancy business. Well, maybe that's not where you're at right now. Maybe you just need to bring yourself back down, ground yourself back into this reality, have a look around you. Say, right, what's the smallest step I can take right now, what's going to move me forward, or at least I can start providing some form of impact in the world? Because we're all human. We've all got things we need to be working on. So you might not be at that level to start creating these things. Yeah, it might be your goal in the future, but right now, that's not where you're at. So you need to humble yourself and bring yourself back down to that level, and don't get lazy and complacent. Life isn't easy. Like, let's be honest. Like, nobody can sit here and say they've had it easy. Everybody has had a difficult life in some way, shape, or form. So accepting that as well. Suffering is inevitable. I don't think it can actually be involved, no matter. I don't think it can actually be avoided, no matter how enlightened or at peace you think you are. Yeah, the higher your emotional state is, the less you're going to feel suffering, but it's still going to happen. It's inevitable. It's a crucial process of this life. And I mean, we need to burn through all these things. We need to feel all this pain, this suffering. This is just like a training ground, this earth. This is training. So you need to look at it like that. It's training. It's spiritual training for your soul to evolve and move up to next planes and higher states of consciousness. So do something with it whilst you're here. You're only here for a limited time. Don't waste this time. Just put yourself out there. Be of value. Be of service. Provide for people. And the more you can look at it through that lens, the more you can look at it like, how can I provide value? How can I be of service today? Wake up and ask yourself that question every day. The more you're going to receive back in this world. If success is what you require, then you're going to have to provide some form of value in order to get that. So yeah, I just wanted to call that out. I don't think I've got anything more to add on that topic. I think I've covered it there, but just really notice yourself, because I fell into that trap myself and I started to be comfortable and passive, and because I reached a state of where I was actually allowing myself to be in this comfort, be in this state of neutrality and passivity, there was no state of action. I mean, I used to have days where I'm like, right, I think I need to do something. I'm like, no, I don't need to do anything. I can just chill now. Because I always used to live in a state of feeling guilty when I was resting. I was very much in the hustle culture, so I convinced myself that if I wasn't working, I was falling behind. I needed to always be doing something in order to prove my self-worth, or in always to doing something in order to feel like I've earned my rest. I felt like I always needed to earn downtime. If you've managed to reach a state where you can rest without guilt, if you can sit in that space and feel peace and you don't need to do anything, be anywhere, then this is a superpower, because you can use that rest and downtime as your creative space to generate ideas, to recharge your energy, and then when the sun is out, it's time for action. When the sun rises, it's time to take action on what you say you want, rather than just sitting there complacent and being passive and giving yourself excuses, telling yourself it's hard, it's difficult. I just want to sit in this space and be comfortable and not really do anything. Because you're only doing yourself a disservice. I mean, it's up to you if that's the life you really want to live. You've got to ask yourself. You've got to really ask yourself on a deeper level, is this the life I want to live? Is this the person I want to become? If the answer is no, then you need to start doing something about it. You start taking action on what you say you want. And you start becoming the person you aspire to be, the person you say you are. All these spiritual people, they've got all this fancy dancy language. They try and they play it off like they're this super cool Zen master, and you know, but on a deeper level, they're deeply insecure, because they wouldn't need to tell you all these things. They wouldn't need to play off the character. They wouldn't need to explain themselves. They wouldn't need to be constantly reassuring and reaffirming who they are, who they say they are. Their energy would speak for itself. Spirituality doesn't have a mask or a costume. You can be or do anything you want. You can go out drinking every weekend and still be deeply spiritual. Yeah, it's going to disconnect you from source a little bit. Your frequency is going to be pretty low, but it's not off the charts. You can do anything you want in this world. You know, we need to bring this spirituality concept or this movement back down to a human level and start actually looking at it through a lens of humility, and start being able to actually be cooperative in this world and work together to build something meaningful whilst we're here. Because if you have enlightened and you have reached that state of enlightenment and you understand, if you've awakened to your true nature, then there's a good chance you ain't going to be coming back here. So if you look at it like this is your last time here, then yeah, the time is limited. We need to do what we can whilst we're here and make the most out of it. So right, I'm going to sign out on that. Everyone's peace, love. See you on the other side.